it's good that so you decide to take the training on Java J2EE. So in terms of Java, you can find opportunities or jobs more. And if you think why, so it's all how the Java platform works is different from could be other programming languages, right? So if you start from the older days, we have C, C++, and VB, and C after that, and many other programming. So they are more like a very tight coupling with one platform. But whereas Java, it's different from that. It's Java is a platform independent programming language. What it means? So if you write a Java program on one computer like Windows, and you can run the same program on Linux, Solaris, other operating system, but it was not the case with other programming languages. And not only that, Java has started lot of open source way of building the frameworks, applications, and Java itself is a complete open source, right? And if you Java is open source, yes, yeah. So you don't have to make any payments or purchases to download the Java software, right? You can download freely, you can install, and you can absolutely play around with that. You don't have to make any payments for that. So other than that, so if you see the number of people who has been working in the industry, you can find more on the Java. Why? Because of so it could be various reasons, like it could be Java being adopted very well across many different industries, and a lot of companies has been doing their work in the Java, right? So it is indirectly producing more jobs, so that could be proportional to increasing the number of people who has been working in the Java. So the good thing what you can do with the Java, so if you know the Java, so it's like you can happily live in the industry. So why? Because Java being used by many companies, one thing, and not only that, so lot of tools also built on top of the Java. The tools can be like lot of ETL tools also available, whether you know or not. Even Informatica tool is also internally used the Java. For example, there is a tool called Pega tool. If you're familiar, I think you should know Pega tool. That is more like a CRM, and it is I think somewhat bigger than that also. That is completely built on top of the Java, but it also uses some other technology internally. Not only that, you can find even if you know the Java, building the Java this mobile programming like Android application development. So the core Android SDK is completely available in the Java for you. If you want to build the Java mobile application, you should be able to do in the Android. And besides that, whether you know or not, recently the Hadoop programming got picked up very well in the industry. So if you take a bigger companies like Facebook, Yahoo, Google, Amazon, these are the data in these companies has been growing very exponentially, right? So every day they are generating like terabytes and petabytes of data, and they don't know how to process the data. To just copy the data of some 10 to 20 terabytes, it takes hours, right? So how to process, how to mine the data, and how to extract the metrics out of it. That's where Google started a project. Google started a project called I think Google MapReduce programming that has been extended, and finally it became as open source. That's called Hadoop. Hadoop. Yeah. So Google started one way called JFiles, that is Google File System, to support. Google might be having a huge set of data to create the indexes and many other things, right? So it started. Later it was picked, and they made it. Even Yahoo started, and finally, so they made it as open source. You can find about the Hadoop in the online. You can see here. Apache Hadoop, you can find a lot of information what exactly it does. It's completely built on top of the Java. So like this, there are plenty of applications, and you can see in the current market many applications has been built and running on top of the Java. So using the Java, what you can do? you can do n number of things. So the Java programming being used in the application development, mobile applications, and the TV remotes, and a lot of setup boxes, and so mobiles and pages and even credit cards, payment gateways, like that many places Java has been using as a one of the core programming language. That's where you can see like a lot of potential opportunities to either to build your expertise and to become as a core expertise of Java programmer to make yourself very comfortable in the industry. So besides that, so this is all, there are many other things you can talk why Java is so popular and how Java is so helpful to you as a person wise. You can talk many aspects like when you're working in the Java, so you can find lot of benefits as a programmer wise. So let me tell you those. Let me increase the font. So so when you're working on any programming language, as you already know, you worked in the real time. So when you're working on the programming language, the one thing everyone needs is some documentations to getting started when you're starting as a new things, right? So for example, your manager came and gave you a new requirement. Hey, can you build me a simple program to generate a chart? But for example, you never done any work in the chart. How do you write? So you need to have a good documentations to start, right? So, and not only that, Java provides many solutions, ready-made solutions. So what is that ready-made solutions? To build a chart, you don't have to write a program from the scratch. There are readily, freely available solutions you can find in the internet. So just to give you an example, JFree charts. So it's a completely Java implementation of charts. How do you generate different types of pie charts and bar charts and line chart, trend charts and bubble charts, many different charts, and you can find even examples how to write this kind of code, and you don't have to make any payment to use these programs. It's a free, it's open source, you can happily use them. Okay, and other than that, you can find a lot of forums, blogs on the Java very frequently, because as many people using, many people exchanging their communication, you can find a lot of this kind of solutions in the internet. And Java having very good support of tools. So to write a program or to run a program, to debug a program, Java has very good support of the tools. The tools can be in terms of IDEs, how quickly you can write your program, and the tools can be help you to do the debugging. If you face an issue, how quickly you can debug the problem. The tools could be how to build your programs or applications. So the tools could be the freely available libraries. The tools could be the servers. Like that, there are many different types of things which will help you in your part of your daily work. So besides this, there are something called frameworks. So even a lot of big companies adopt this framework concept, because if you use the framework, you don't have to build the application from the scratch. So framework is nothing but a semi-developed application which is already available. You can just consume it and you can enhance with your application specific code. It can tremendously reduce the the core platform implementation and time taken and bugs. 90% of time you can only spend time on your application specific logic. So like that, there are bunch of n number of reasons why you need to use the Java and all. So but besides all of them, what why I need to take a training with me, or with Java training, right? So what I'm going to learn here, how this will be helpful for you, how I'm different from other training institutes or whoever offering the different types of trainings, right? So here you can find a lot of information here. I just gave some bullet points why Java, and where the Java can be used in what are the different platforms, and how the market analysis for the few of the very, I mean, like previous years, how Java being used across many other different languages like C, C++, C Sharp, and JavaScript, PHP. So because Java having its own set of unique characteristics, make it used very highly in different types of applications. So besides all of this, what you can do with the Java, as I already told you, you can use the Java in many different ways and many different application development. And moreover, you can use the Java at the client side programming. You can use the Java as a server side programming. You can Java used as a distributed programs or distributed applications. You can use the Java in the messaging. You can use the Java in the email application development. You can use the Java in networking applications. So like that, you can use the Java in n number of places. Okay. So in spite of this, yes, I know very well about the Java, so at least I understood, and Java is so helpful, that's why I decided to learn the Java. But now, how this training will help you? What am I going to learn part of this training? What kind of help or support you will be provided? What kind of documentation you will be provided part of this overall training? That's where if you talk, so whole training has been designed in such a way, like it's more like practical, job oriented, and more like hands-on learning the Java based on the job orientation, and more like practical rather than just theory. And moreover, it designed in such a way to meet the market needs. And here I'm the one who is going to do whole this Java training. I'm the one who is going to cover all this, complete all the topics in the training. So if you come to a Java, so what I'm going to learn. So before going to talk about the Java curriculum, so let me give you what market expecting, especially based on the current trend. So if you observe, so nowadays you can find same application. Let's take an example. Okay. Let me open the Word document. Okay, so let's take Amazon as an example. We all know about the Amazon, where every day you might be doing some purchases, right? So let's take Amazon as an example. Now Amazon is available in many different ways, right? So let's okay, one second. So let me take, okay. So if you take Amazon as an example, so how you can access the Amazon site? Can you give me, based on your experience, how did you access the Amazon site? Browser, right? And how did you access the Amazon other than the browser? So have you tried access Amazon through phone? So there are apps, right? So you can access in the iPhone. You can access the Amazon in the Android phones. You can access the Amazon, whether you believe or not, in the Windows, right? Windows phone. You can access the Amazon in the TV. Yeah, so you can access you can put the Amazon app in the TV if you have a kind of a Roku, or if you have some kind of IP this Blu-ray player, and there are some apps. If you put, you can do the shopping in your TV. And not only that, Blu-ray player or some kind of Blu-ray player. There are some, yeah, not DVD. So there are some different Samsung. I don't remember that exact Blu-ray player, or you can have this Roku player. So there are some kind of devices which does the streaming. They also does support the apps. And nowadays the smart TVs are coming. In the smart TVs you don't have to, you can inbuilt put the different apps and you can do the shopping, right? So, and even other than this, many other ways you can access Amazon as a Kindle, and some kind of other various other kind of devices. Okay. So do you think Amazon built their whole application these different either each device supported differently, or if Amazon would have done that, it wastes its full time in maintaining all this many number of applications. Do you agree? So because there is a huge logic built behind the Amazon to make it work, right? So with this need, so if you look at the current trend, how the applications has been building is Amazon building behind the scenes something called Amazon services, SOA services. So basically these service oriented programs, they contain the real Amazon processing logic sitting. Okay, and they developed a separate implementation for to what needs to be displayed in the browser, what needs to be displayed in the iPhone, what needs to be displayed in the Android, what needs to be displayed in the Windows, TV, and different other types of mobile browsers and all. So the business logic has been implemented in one place called services, and that services internally will talk to databases, messaging systems, and file systems, many other things. Behind the scene everything happens. Okay, behind the scene it will interact with the Amazon services. So Amazon services, yeah. Yes. So I will recording, I'm going to publish this video to all of you, don't worry about that. So Amazon internally connecting to the database, and it does all sorts of functionality, and it also does it is very complex logic. I'm just giving you as a simple diagram, but it's very complex. But then all these views, you can consider these are called as a presentation logic. So browser will have a HTML presentation, iPhone will have a iPhone compatible presentation, Android will have Android compatible presentation, Windows will have its own, TV will have its own, everyone will have same different presentation logic talking to these services and get the data, and they know how to render on their compatible devices. So they are redoing only the presentation logic, but whereas the business logic, it is completely centralized called services. So that's where most of the companies are going towards the service oriented applications. Service oriented applications. So then on top of the services, they are building the views or presentations like browser presentation, iPhone presentation, Windows, TV and all. And that's why they are able to provide as many different views they can. Tomorrow if something different view technology comes, they could support that easily, because they don't have to build complete Amazon application. Very thin layer of the presentation they have to do that. So by kept that in the mind, so this whole training has been designed in such a way, so the training, if you divide into small parts, you can think as a core Java one part, and the other one is web application development, how you can write the view which can display in your browser. Okay, so then how I can build these backend services. Okay, then besides this I will give you some more add-on. So if you guys are interested, we can also talk about the messaging, how we can write a messaging applications in the Java also. That's not a big deal. So if you see, if you once you enroll into training and once you completed your course, and you should be enough comfortable to deal with any of these, means in the market you should be able to apply the courses for dealing with any of those, and you should feel comfortable to work on any one of those or all of those. So if you come to the course content, what am I going to learn in the training? So what kind of stuff I'm going to teach you? As I told you, I'll start with the core Java. So many people will have a doubt, do I need to know some of the Java background to take this training? It's not required, because I will start you even though you're familiar with the Java. So I want to make sure you should be clear in platform wise how it works. So many people might be working in the Java, they may know or may not know how Java programs getting executed internally, how the memory will work, right? And many sorts of things you need to understand as a core fundamental of the programming, how it works. And we will start from there. So then I will give you how you can write a simple, very short program. Then we are going to talk about a lot of Java fundamental concepts like oops, classes, inheritance, polymorphism, exception handling, multi-threading, and how I can deal with the exceptions, threads, how I'm going to deal with the input output, how I can read the files, how I can write the files, how can I deal with the directory structures, all those things. Then how to write any kind of program, to build any kind of program, so you need to have the basic component called data structure. So even when you write your PLSQL program also, you would have used some of the data structures. I'm sure you would have used that list to represent more than one record set, right? So something like that, you need to have some data structure required, and you might need to apply some kind of algorithms like searching, shuffling, and what is the efficient way of search, binary search, and many different types of algorithms you would have applied. So besides that, we are going to learn some of the Java advanced concepts like annotations. Yes, any questions? Raja, do you have any questions? Okay, thank you. So no problem. So some of the advanced concepts like annotations and enums we are going to learn, and after that we are going to jump into JDBC using the Java, how I can talk to the database, how I can insert the data, update the data, retrieve the data, how I can perform the various data operations. That's where we are going to learn JDBC. And besides this, so in the real time we will not use like a plain Java, so we are going to use something called database connection pooling, because so performance is so important in the real time applications, how efficiently you can connect to the data, how you can optimize the database connection creation and all. That's why we are going to use a concept called connection pooling. So many times in the complex applications, to exchange the data between the service and presentation layer, they could use the XML or JSON formats. That's where we are going to understand what is the XML. So we are going to learn some of the XML fundamentals. So we are going to learn XML data and how you can define the grammar of the XML using the schemas, and how you can read and write the data using the parsers. And one of the popular and the recent adopted mechanism is the JAXB. There is a framework called JAXB that is nothing but a Java architecture for XML binding. Using this, you can easily read and write the data. So that's what even industries has been using. So after that, we are going to jump into a web application programming. Web programming. So part of this, we are going to truly learn how can we build a web page. The web page could be a sign in page. How do you log into the google.com? The web page could be a simple form where you can do the registration. The web page can be a Amazon search, something like this. So searching for Amazon item like iPod. The web page could be how to use the session synchronization, how do you do the logging. The web page could be how to use the cookies and personalization. Many things we are going to learn part of the web programming concepts. So technically, in terms of Java technology wise, we are going to learn servlets, annotation, JSP, custom tags, and there is a framework called Spring. It will simplify how quickly you can build the Java application using the Spring framework. So we are going to use them. So other than that, to learn the services, so as I told you in the diagram, if you look, so a lot of the business logic sits inside the services. How can we build such kind of services, and what are we going to learn for that? So basically these services in the industry, people are developing in two ways. One is called web service, other one is called RESTful service. So web service and RESTful service, these are the two different ways to build the services. And these services, there are two important things when you're talking about the service. One is building a service, and the other one is called consuming a service. If you're working on the Java application, means you can use either of these. In your future, you might get a requirement either to build or to consume. If you are like a client, you will be consuming a service. If you are like a provider, you will be providing a service. So we are going to learn how do you build a service using the web service as well as the RESTful service. We are going to learn both the techniques. We are going to learn both the technologies. And part of it, I'm going to deal with a lot of tooling actually. A lot of tools I'll deal with during part of the course. And other than this, we are going to learn many other frameworks like Hibernate, Maven, Log4J, JUnit, jar tool, and design patterns. So many other framework will. Why do you need to learn this? Because these are certainly important. Hibernate is like a popular framework in the market. It's called ORM, Object Relation Management. So where you can abstract database language and you can completely interact with the database as the objects. To interact with the database, usually what you need to do is you need to know the SQL. But if you know the Hibernate, without knowing the SQL, you can talk to the database as a Java objects. So Hibernate is filling that gap. So Maven is a build tool. How quickly you can build your application. So let me give you one simple example. Let me take Apache Commons. There is a site you can find. So do you imagine how this site being generated? It's not like a manually built site. It automatically generated by Maven. It automatically generated by the Maven. So Maven does a number of things, and and you believe or not, nowadays most of the companies and most of the projects has been adopted this Maven build tool because it simplifies their life. And we are going to truly learn how we can use this Maven. And other than this, we are going to use like a Log4j. So to build any application, you need to do the sufficient logging to debug the application when you are getting into problems. And how you can do the unit testing. And to build the application, a lot of times you need to use the good solutions called design patterns. So what are some of the good design patterns we are going to learn? So all of them we will be learning part of our course. And besides all of this, I'm going to cover a lot of tools actually. So this is a big difference. A person can learn in their own home, but the big difference is the kind of tooling what you use is different from the outside market. So in the market, the way you write a program could be entirely different. Let me show you. I'm launching you the Eclipse. this is how we will write a programs in our daily life. So I'm going to show you like a bunch of tools like Eclipse, SGS. There's something called Spring Tool Set Suite, which will be used to write any kind of Maven and Spring based programs very quickly, in terms of, in a minute I can create my project. That simple it is. And not only that, so I'm going to show you like, debugging tools, and to test some of the tools also, how you can debug the so guys, could you please Gaurav, can you mute your microphone to avoid any echo? Sure. Yeah, so we are going to use some debugging tools for the web and core Java and many others. And we are going to use some of the servers, how you can build the web application and run these applications in your code itself. So here so, and besides that, I'm going to cover a lot of other extra curriculums, like giving you some of the best coding practices. At the end, everyone can write a program. How you can distinguish yourselves from others is the best code you can write. And trust me, after completing your training, you might be much more efficient programmer than me, because so in terms of learning the programming, there is no end. And so based on expertise what I'm having, I'm good at some level, and if you work sometime, you could do much better than me also. This it's all how practice you do, and how your logical thinking and attitude, so that will build your expertise in the programming language. And besides all of this, I'll be providing you a lot of documentation, because Java is so huge and you need to know many things, and to simplify your life, to make you too comfortable and consistent in terms of understanding across the Java programming course. So I designed in such a way, so I'll start with you need a lot of softwares. Agree? To work with the Java programming, to learn, you are going to deal with a bunch of Java softwares. So I'll be providing you as a one Java software kit. So it's like whatever softwares we require, I put together, and so you can find like Java software kit here. So not only this, there are some more softwares are missing. I'm going to put together in one place, and I will be able to give you as a zip. And so with this, you should be able to access all the Java softwares. And not only that, to deal with all these softwares, you need to know how to work with these softwares, right? I will be providing you the slides, for example, how we can install the database, MySQL database. So here there will be a detailed presentation slides which contain how to download. So if you get my Java software kit, this is the file to install your database, and from that, this is a screenshot you can follow to complete the database installation. Each and every step is clearly depicted in terms of diagrams, and this will really helpful even after 1 year also. If you want, you can just follow them and you can accomplish what you want. And with the detail and what is the significance of each of these, you can find a inline description about those. So this is about the setup. Not only that, in terms of even to start with the Java, how I'm very new to the Java, from where I need to download and how I need to install the Java software, you can find everything. Every detailed step will be captured here, and you can, by following this, you can absolutely install and set up all the required softwares in your computer, like server setup, Eclipse setup, how I'm going to deal with the Eclipse, so how I'm going to write a simple Java program. You can, so I just give you that. Not only that, to how to configure your project, how to deal with the sample project creation, many other things will be given part of it, and these are pretty detailed for you to kickstart with this. And besides all of this, for every topic we are going to talk in the training, I will be providing you very detailed slides. So for example, I'll start with the simple Java basics. You can see I'll start with the Java history, how it was started, and how the Java programming is available, and how the whole platform, Java platform, looks like, and how you can, the internal memory, how it works when you are simply executing one program, basically how it get executes. So many other details you are going to see part of every, and this is being captured for every topic which I am going to talk in the class, every topic. So if you see servlet, this is one of the web programming side. So how this whole overall servlet programming works, what is the HTTP request, what is the response, how it be getting processed in the server side, and these are very clearly narrated, and it looks like this is around some 154 slides. So like this, for every topic which I'm going to do part of the class, I'll be provided you these slides for every topic, all the Java sessions, Spring, SQL, struts, JSP, JSTL, JAXB, jar tool, for every topic whatever I'm going to talk to you. So I'll be giving you the documentation. This is really helpful to recap even after 6 months also. To recap, this will give you very useful information to you. And besides all of those, I'm going to provide you examples for every topic I'm going to talk in the class. I will give you a detailed examples. So this will helpful to so understand the theory concept what we learned as a practical. Just give you as an example, let me show you one simple thing. So let me load one simple program here. Let me import the one of the application. So let me go to C, training, examples, and struts. So I'm just loading one of the application what we built part of the course. So, and let me add this application to my server. Okay, looks like some simple hello service JSP custom tags is there. Let's assume that is also fine. Let's start the server. So I'm starting my Java server. Okay, that is fine. So here I have an application called, there are multiple applications are there. One of the application called JSP custom tag example. Just go to the browser. So access the application server whatever you started, HTTP localhost 8080 JSP custom tag example. Examples. What is that? So what is the server number, port number? It's running on 8080. JSP custom tag examples. Let me do this. So looks like this could be having some issue, but so I'm going to clearly show you the same application, how the internationalization, many other things, how it works. We are going to talk to you very detailedly. So this is one of the services which I already built and it's running part of my server to say hello. So just to give you as an example what kind of things we are going to learn, if you go to the google.com site, so how this google.com can able to serve the response in the different languages. For example, I opened the google.com, oh my god, on the IE. So it serves the English response. And if you change the internet options as a locale, what you're sending to the server, that's called settings. Not this one, I think content. So there is something called locale setting. You can set part of the this one, sites, advanced. This is for cookie and security, and there's somewhere else you can find languages. Set the language preference. So currently it was chosen the English, but if you add a different language, you will get the different language output. For example, I want to see different language output on my browser, like German. Let's assume I want to see French. Let's select the French. You can use French, France country, and you can add it over here. And if you want, you can make, you can remove this. You can make somewhere to make it as a default is the option. Make this as a primary language. Log4J. Okay. So now if I go to my browser and if I go to my browser, say okay, and try to request, you will see the response in the French language. So we are going to truly how we can build this kind of application. This kind of application is called internationalized application. How can we build this kind of programs? We are going to see clearly, and I'm going to show you very detailed instruction how we can do all these things. So, and besides all of these, at the end of the session, if you guys are interested, we can all work together and we can take one concept like Amazon and how we can build a similar kind of, a small complexity application. How we can build, how we can add an item, how we can purchase an item, how we can create a profile, how you can log in. Once you log in, how you can enable the, sign me in, keep me signed in. So like that, many feature we can add, we can talk, and we can